Welcome everybody. My name is Tim Sandy. I'm a VMware Systems Engineer. This month's session is going to be VMworld 2014 recap number 3 of 3. In the last 2 months, we did the recap number 1 and 2, which covered the SDDC, or Software Defined Data Center, and end user computing announcements in relation to VMworld. So this particular session, which is the last of the series, is going to cover our announcements relating to our cloud-based offerings on VCloud Air. So let's get started. This slide here is just a quick recap. Again, our 3 main categories of product announcements are broken down into our SDDC, or Software Defined Data Center. And those are the key announcements for that, as well as end user computing, or EUC, which we covered in the last 2. And again, this particular session is going to be covering the hybrid area, which is our VCloud Air cloud-based offerings. So first off, just in case you weren't aware, we did a rename of our cloud-based offerings. It used to be called VCloud Hybrid Services, or VCHS. It is now called VCloud Air. So we've done a rebranding of our cloud-based services to the VCloud Air name. As you see, all the different core offerings with VCloud Hybrid Services now just has the VCloud Air naming in front of it. So VCloud Air, Virtual Private Cloud, Dedicated Cloud, and Disaster Recovery. So that is the renaming. Also, in case you weren't aware, just to cover real quickly, VCloud Air has 3 core service offerings that can be deployed individually or in a combination with one another. Again, it is the Dedicated Cloud, the Virtual Private Cloud, and the Disaster Recovery as a Service, or DR as a Service. Now, the Virtual Private Cloud gives you logical isolation for your compute, network, and storage stacks, whereas your dedicated cloud gives you that physical isolation with your compute stack. However, your network and storage is also logically separated. So just to give you a little distinctive difference between those. So those are the 3 core offerings of VCloud Air, in case you weren't aware of that. Now, VCloud Air data center locations, we have them all over the world, and we continue to expand on them each quarter as we go along. As you see, our current data centers are Santa Clara, Las Vegas, Dallas, Jersey City, and Sterling, and as well as the UK. And we have recently, in the last couple of months, opened up our VCloud Government Services data centers. These are specific to government compliance and security regulations, so those meet those type of government restrictions or compliance. And those are in Phoenix and Dulles. And then we just recently opened up a data center in Japan as well as Australia. So again, these are what we have available at the moment. When you open up any of our VCloud Air instances or an account for an instance, you can select which data center that your servers will go into. So you have that choice. Whatever is going to be geographically closer to your location is the preferred choice. And again, keep in mind that we are continually expanding into new data centers around the world, so keep an eye out for upcoming new data centers. Now, we've had a lot of announcements at VMworld regarding VCloud Air, and most of them are either in betas or future upcoming service offerings that we're going to have. So all of these I'm going to talk about here are either currently in a beta or they're an upcoming service that you'll see in potentially either the end of this year or sometime the first half of next year. So first off, we have the DevOps services. It is going to be a continuous integration as a service. So again, for someone looking that does a lot of test dev, that does a lot of application development, that whole process all the way to making that application and putting it into the operational network, we're going to offer that as a service. As well as database as a service, it will initially start off with MySQL and SQL Server, and then from there it most likely will expand out to some other database type offerings. We then have object-based storage. Now, most of your newer applications are typically written to take advantage of object-based storage, again for large unstructured data. So this object-based storage as a service is going to be very useful for those newer type of applications. It's based on the EMC Viper technology and will also help you with life cycle management, versioning, and large object features. So then we have our regular storage tiers. Now when we first came out with our VCloud Air service offerings, we just had standard storage. Now we have also included SSD accelerated storage. So if you have those servers that require more higher end type of input-output, the SSD accelerated storage will definitely come in handy for that. Then we have mobility services. That's going to be integrating our AirWatch technology and our Pivotal Cloud Foundry technologies into our VCloud Air offerings. And finally, cloud management. You may be familiar with our VCloud Automation Center, or VCAC, that is now renamed to VRealize Air Automation. So again, all the benefits of the automation with that will be offered as a service on VCloud Air. So we announced a new product. It is the VRealize CodeStream 1.0. This goes back to the last slide, the very first offering that I talked about for test dev. VRealize CodeStream provides a continuous delivery to enable frequent, reliable software releases, reduce operational risks, and increase business agility. VRealize CodeStream can provide you the ability to reduction in application release time from months down to days, potentially. It'll also provide governance and visibility into the entire release process, as well as provide a single interface to manage that release process from start to finish. So those people that do a lot of application development, create their applications, and then deploy it out into an operational status, it will help them manage that from start to finish and take it through its various different phases as you go through both the test dev phases and into operational, as well as maintain the life cycle of those applications. So CodeStream will help you do that. Then we have VRealize Air Automation Beta. Again, we mentioned VCloud Automation Center or VRealize Automation. We're going to now have that as a service out on VCloud Air. So again, this is in a beta, so look forward to that going to be available sometime probably in the first half of 2015. VRealize Automation provides the ability to take private and public cloud management and automation for deploying VMs. So it will make that job much easier to deploy between both your on-prem as well as your cloud-based offerings. It is multi-tenant aware, provides governance using policies to ensure you to meet all compliance regulations, as well as integrates with other cloud vendors to provide the ability to manage them as well. So if you have some servers out on other cloud vendors, you can still use VRealize Air Automation to be able to connect and manage your servers on those other cloud-based vendors. Then we have another new product, which is VRealize Air Compliance. This is also in a beta status right now. VRealize Air Compliance gives you the ability to ensure your consistent configurations for your VMs are consistent using policies. Continuously monitor your environment to notify you if anything goes out of compliance, because you need to know not only that you've originally set those configurations that they're in compliance, but to also maintain and to be able to monitor those to ensure that they stay that way, just in case someone makes changes to configurations. Then it also provides the ability to create reports quickly and easily to provide to management or even government agencies to prove that you are in compliance. So for people that are very much tied directly to meeting certain compliance and security standards such as HIPAA, the reports give them a very quick and easy way to be able to provide those reports to management or government agencies and prove that they are indeed compliant. So that is the VRealize Air Compliance, and again in a beta status. Also, a new offering that is going to be available sometime next year is VCloud Air Virtual Private Cloud on Demand. This is an early access program, and it is a pay-as-you-go type of offering. So much like you might have seen the way with Amazon AWS, where as you go out, create an account, enter in your credit card information, and you're off and running, and you're able to very quickly add additional services or even add-ons to those services. Currently, we're inviting several thousand clients to join our private beta and then our early access program for it, with a GA announcement sometime, hoping again the first half of 2015. And there is a link to be able to go out there and to get yourself signed up potentially for that early access program. I wanted to mention that we also have a tool to help you when you're speaking to your resellers and when they're speaking to their customers, and the customers are giving them, say, a set number of RAM and processor and storage that they need so that you can build a VCloud Air quote for them. We have this online calculator for VCloud Air to assist you with that. They've made some recent updates. As you see here on the left-hand side, they've accommodated the new on-demand offering. So when you first go out to this link, you then select either the on-demand or the subscription-based calculator. And then once you go into that one, you then will go in on the right-hand side there. You see you then select either the virtual private, the dedicated cloud, or the disaster recovery offering. And then you input the appropriate information, and then that will give you a good idea as to what the monthly cost will be for the end user. So just wanted to bring this calculator to your attention in case you weren't aware of it. It can be a very useful tool when you're doing quotes for customers. I wanted to also mention the Horizon Air, or our desktop as a service offering. Although we covered this in our last month's session, because it is also a part of the end user computing tower, which we covered last month, it is also a part of our cloud-based offering because it is our desktop as a service out on VCloud Air. So I wanted to go over this as well in this particular session. So with our Horizon Air, it has three core offerings, such as our desktop as a service, again, which provides your virtual desktops. Then we also have apps as a service using Microsoft RDSH servers to host the applications. And finally, we have the desktop disaster recovery as a service, or DR as a service, providing you a disaster recovery for your virtual desktops to ensure your employees can continue to work during disaster scenarios. So those are the three core offerings for Horizon Air. Let's take a little bit deeper look into that. So you see our three core offerings: virtual desktops, RDS servers, and desktop DR. The virtual desktops, we offer them in two ways, either using a desktop-based operating system such as XP, Windows 7 or 8, as well as server operating systems skinned to look like a Windows 7 desktop such as 2008 R2 server. So you have your choice there. Then we have the Microsoft RDSH servers providing your hosted applications to the end users, as well as also providing possibly session-based virtual desktops as well. And finally, the desktop DR as a service offering is an affordable way to ensure you have virtual desktops always available to your users or within a certain guaranteed SLA time frame. So it's not just only guaranteeing that your servers have a DR solution, but also your desktops as well, to ensure that, again, your end users can continue to run once those infrastructure services are back up and running. Now with that completes the VMworld recap, but I also like to mention some of this information in this slide here. If you're interested in attending or watching more of these VMware enablement sessions like the one you're currently watching and that we're talking about right now, we've made it easier for you to make sure that you stay enabled in two simple steps. First step is go out to the registration link that you see below. Fill in your name, your email, what your role is, either sales, technical sales, or maybe engineering or architect. Then you select either one, two, or all three of the sessions that you'd like to be enabled on. As you see, the 101 level is for sales, product, packaging, and licensing information. 201 level covers technical sales, product positioning, and updates. And finally, the 301 sessions are for engineering, technical deep dives, as well as demonstrations on how to use the products. So you have your choice and you can select all or just some of them that you want to stay enabled on. The second step is to go out to our enablement calendar and see what upcoming training sessions we have to stay on top of your enablement. We'll also have weekly recaps listed in there like you see on the calendar that just basically point you back to some pre-recorded sessions like this one, just in case you may have missed them previously. It's just there to kind of bring them to light, and a lot of times they'll be related to some of the sessions that are going to be presented later on in the week. So again, go out and get yourself registered. That way you'll get notified of upcoming training events, and then make sure you go out to our enablement calendar so you'll stay informed as to upcoming events, and they'll also have the links to register for those WebEx sessions or the links to go out to our YouTube page where we house all of our pre-recorded videos. So again, go ahead and get registered and check out the calendar and make sure that you keep yourself enabled. With that completes the last of our VMworld recap sessions. I want to thank you for watching and hope it was informative for you.